So we've been tracking the CCP's transnational repression tactics for a while, how they try to intimidate and crack down on dissent around the world. And within this work, within this monitoring effort, we came across the setup of at least 54 so-called overseas police service stations being set up by 2 provinces, in particular by security bureaus from those provinces in cooperation with the United Front Work Department. Now, we found accounts that at least some people have been hired to perform these duties. We also believe that they're building on an existing network of United Front Work organizations and associations. So it's really very hard to pin it down how many people exactly are involved, but these operations are ongoing on all continents and in at least 30 countries. So we put out another report in January of this year, Involuntary Returns, where we really look at the national framework set up by the Chinese Communist Party to persuade people to return, so to use these illegal mechanisms to bring people back to China against their will. These tactics include threats and harassment of family, detention of family members, covert agents, or these kind of stations being involved in tracking people directly wherever they are around the world. And so as we were tracking this, we came across official statements from the Chinese Ministry of Public Security that between April 2021 and July of this year alone, they had successfully persuaded to return 230,000 individuals. So those are huge numbers. And from there on, we went digging deeper, looked what these provinces were doing, but basically all our evidence is based on official accounts, statements, media reports put out by those authorities themselves. So on the one hand, there's these so-called consular services, which obviously are still illegal. Dutch authorities have already affirmed, Irish authorities just shut down the station in Ireland, German authorities have confirmed. Even these kind of consular services, renewing passports, driver's licenses, and so on, without declaring that to the authorities of the country, is in breach of territorial sovereignty. But then, of course, we know that among the tasks of these Dutch stations, as for all others, are also collecting the public opinion, monitoring the public opinion among, the Chinese overseas community, resolutely cracking down on crime and helping in the pursuit of fugitives. So we really know that also these people had been involved in this, and there are some accounts. There was one testimony in particular from Wang Jingju stating that he had been threatened and harassed by people from this station. So we have uncovered at least 4 stations in Italy. I have reason to believe there are 5 at least. 2 of them in Milan, 1 in Florence, 1 in Prato, and 1 in Rome. Now, 3 of these were set up in 2018, and as you will remember, Italy had set up these kind of joint police patrols between the Ministry of Public Security in China and the Ministry of Interior here in Italy. And we found evidence that actually in 2018, as these stations were being set up, the National Ministry of Public Security in China delegated the patrols for that year to the province of Zhejiang, which was the first to set up these kind of stations. And exactly in that year, a station was set up in Rome, and we found actual video evidence that unfortunately some police officers from the Italian police were present at the inauguration of that clandestine station. So the Italian authorities are, I think, the only ones around the world that were aware that these were being set up. And it begs the question, why have they not done anything? Why have they not called this out? And it is staggering that there has not been more action against these kind of operations. Now, why is this in part also? Because one of the aims of these campaigns, obviously, as it is to crack down on dissent, is to silence people. So people are afraid. People that are being targeted, that have family members back in China, are afraid to speak out. So it's very difficult to find testimonies, to find people that are willing to tell what is happening to them.
我的同事昨天已经回答了有关的问题。具体的情况，请你向中方的主管部门了解。我想强调的是，中国公安机关严格遵守国际法，充分尊重他国的司法主权。